out there. Subscribe to this channel.
What is up, guys? This is the ZeusTuber, and today I'm here with my video about what my thoughts are on who Negan actually killed in the Season 6 finale. And no, it wasn't the cameraman. Stop with that crap, guys. It wasn't the cameraman. It was one of our characters. We just don't know who yet. Anyway, I've looked over the final scenes several different times. Gimples did say there were, or Kirkman said there were clues within the scene, or within the episode as to who it would have been. I know they haven't actually filmed it yet, but I'm sure that they did plant little seeds as to like who it will be, because I'm sure Gimple and Kirkman know who they want to kill off. Norman Reedus revealed earlier today that he does know who dies. So, I mean, some people would be like, oh, maybe it's Daryl. But I want to, give some background on who I think it is. Right off the bat, we can take two names off the list, because when we are in the POV shot of Negan looking down at the camera, he says,
anybody moves, anybody says anything, cut the boy's other eye out and feed it to his father, and then we'll start.
So that takes out Carl and Rick. So it's not Rick he's doing it, and it's not Carl he's doing it too, because he would, if someone did something while he was killing whoever he's killing, then he would go over and take Carl's eye out and give it to Rick. That's just basically what he's saying there. So it's not either of those two. We also know that it is going to be a big character. It's not going to be an Aaron or a Eugene. I'm going to say it's not even going to be like a Sasha at this point. I'm pretty sure I would put my money down on one of the big ones that are there. So that leaves us with Daryl, Glenn, Michonne, Abraham, and Maggie. I don't think it will be Maggie for a very specific reason. She went through the haircut, she's having the baby, and they're giving her leadership responsibilities. And as you guys know, if you read the comics, those are three things that come into play in a huge way in terms of the Hilltop community. They're setting that up too much for them to cut that storyline now. I mean, she cut her hair for Pete's sake, and I mean, obviously it might benefit her in other roles outside of the show, but she cut it for the show. And that was only last week, and they wouldn't kill her off technically in the finale. I mean, we're not going to see who until the Season 7 premiere, but technically the finale, since that's when the death occurred, like timeline-wise, they wouldn't do that. Maggie is safe, let's face it. They're going to give her her comic book arc. They've invested too much into that arc so far just to kill it now. And then my dad actually brought up a very interesting thing to me today when he's like, hey, did you notice those scenes, this scene here that they showed several times throughout the episode of the blurry lights and stuff? That is a POV shot from one of our characters. So it would seem to me that this POV shot, whoever's seeing this POV, is the same person that gets their POV shot when Negan kills them. That would make the most sense to me, and that would be one of those little Easter egg or clues hidden in the episode that is hidden in plain sight, but I don't think a lot of people are picking up on. I think we can narrow down whoever Negan kills to being one of the characters, one of the four inside of the van, whether it's Daryl, Rosita, Glenn, or Michonne. Now, I don't think it'd be Rosita. That'd be a waste. I love Kristen Serratos as Rosita, but I don't. If they kill Rosita, it'd be kind of like, it would be really anticlimactic. I'm sorry. So it really needs to be Daryl, Michonne, or Glenn. Glenn would make sense, because that is the comic book death, and that's what not all of us, but that's what a lot of people wanted to see. A lot of people wanted to see Daryl go. Daryl and Glenn would be the two obvious ones in that situation. Michonne would be the wild card that would shock everybody if they killed Michonne like this, because she's still alive in the comics, and no one ever believes she's going to die anytime soon. So Michonne, in terms of shocking television, would be the best choice. I'm not saying I want her to die, but Michonne would be a logical one. Now, if we want to read into this even more, we can look at the positioning of where the camera is and pertains to where the characters are. So you can't see much of most of these clips, but as we get to this shot right here, we see when the door opens that there's a head down right in front of us. That is Daryl. So it's not Daryl's POV here. So to me, if we're going to go with this theory that whoever's POV they're showing in the van is the same POV from the person who dies, then that if we go based off of that, that means Daryl's probably safe. And if we look at the reverse shot as who's in the van, there's Daryl. Michonne is right behind him, so she would have that view. So I think this now narrows things down to either Glenn or Michonne, because in this frame here, Michonne is kind of, she's against the wall of the van behind Daryl. Glenn is kind of in the middle, in the back. You can't see him in this shot. And Rosita is on the far left, out of frame. And the camera, if we go back and look his position, it's pretty much in the middle of the van. So technically speaking, if they were accurate about this, Michonne would be on the left in this shot. She would not be the POV. Rosita would be on the right. So that indicates to me that this is Glenn's POV inside of the van. That is just what I'm thinking. And now I know this is a still shot right here, but on people, you might be like, oh, it's not a POV, that's just a shot from inside the camera. But if you go back and look at these other previous shots, the camera is moving in a weird fashion to give the illusion that it's kind of some guy or some girl, whoever's in there, kind of swaying back and forth. There's breathing in the background. So this is a POV shot. So in my professional YouTube opinion, I'm gonna say that it's either Glenn or Michonne. I am leaning towards Glenn, however, based on the camera positioning. I could be completely wrong about that. It is also important to note that after watching the finale, I did look into that leaked audio that was revealed from the Spoiling Dead fans, and the leaked audio, you could hear a little bit more in it than you could in the actual episode. In the final cut of the episode, they seemed to have blurred out a lot of the audio, or at least muffled it, so we couldn't really get to see who was yelling what. But when you slow it down, and I'll play that right now, I do want to give credit to, this was posted on carlgrimes.tumblr.com. I don't know who to credit, them, I guess. I don't know who to credit for the original audio, but I know they put this together slowed down with, subtitles that aren't official, but they do add up pretty well, and it does sound like it is Glenn to me. It does sound like it. No one knows for sure. It's not really a spoiler, because considering they haven't even shot the death yet, they could have just thrown in this dialogue for just, Easter egg purposes, and they'll film the actual death soon. So don't get me wrong, no, they haven't filmed who dies yet. But based on all this evidence, I am willing to put money down on either Glenn or Michonne, more so on Glenn out of those two. This has been my analysis video, I guess, on who I think is going to die. If you disagree, that's fine. If you agree, comment down below and let me know. Hopefully I convinced some of you. But mark my words, either Glenn or Michonne. From this audio, it sounds like Glenn. We'll have to wait and see. This has been the ZeusTuber, guys. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Wow, I did that pretty fast. Yeah, subscribe.
And you are it.